Hey guys, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO. It's been a couple of weeks. I think we have not done a show since Thanksgiving, so it's good to be back on the air. It's good to be live. We are here at Maple Street Biscuit Company in Miramar Beach, Florida. If you guys live anywhere on the Emerald Coast, if you're hanging out for the holiday, literally, you need to come in, check these guys out. Great place. And somebody asked me the other day, Troy, can we get keto type food? Absolutely, you can. Matter of fact, the community leader here is into keto, so she can make you up something special if that's what you're looking for. It's pretty powerful. Also want to do a shout out, obviously, to my buddy Freddie Sheets. He's actually up in where's he at? Michigan is where he's at, and he just got some tattoo work done by John Anderson, another gentleman who has done a lot of work on my front forearm right here. Guys, listen, if you're on the Emerald Coast looking for some new ink, if you're looking for some cover up, you got some piercings, liposuction, you name it, go to Allen's Ink, check them out. I think you'll be totally amazed at what you've got going on over there. Just some great stuff, but we also need to do some updates. Now I want to get in and ask some questions. You know, we told you guys we were launching the business news desk, and once we got it up, once we got it running, just started looking at some things. And one of them was some changes Google had made, looking at some analytics, looking at speed page or page speed. And we looked over at what we had done for, almost 10 years at MLMhelpdesk.com. We have not posted over there anything in 2 years for the most part. And as we started digging into that, I mean, there's still 148,000 sites that link over to that. We looked at the speed. We looked at the traffic that's still there just from these old posts, and decided that come 2020, we're going to blow the doors off that site. So any of you guys that used that as a resource in the past, you're going to be able to use that again. Matter of fact, you can go over there now, check it out. Still in the reconstruction phase, if you will. But I think you'll find that the speed is there. I think if you're on a mobile device, you're going to be very excited about that. Also, go to the Dooley'sLife.com. You can sign up. We're going to leave that open just a little bit longer. That's going to be a new community, if you will. But right now, we've opened that up just to a selective few. And it's been fun to watch, because when I say selective few, that's actually relative. Compared to how many people have signed up to say, yeah, we want to see a different side of Troy, a different side of Paige, what we're doing in business and at home. We're really going to be focusing that on family business life. So outside of what you see us do on podcast, outside of what you might be picking up over at the Amazon station now, what we're going to be doing on Roku, yes, I'm letting you know 2020 is going to be powerful, because the media side, our media company, has just exploded this year with all the help that we've gotten. Corey just is behind the scenes, just jamming this thing out for us. So we're excited about where things are going, excited about where things are going to take us, but going to take you guys. We're going into that last 2 or 3 weeks of December. We can make a lot of excuses of why we're not focusing on our business, why we're not focusing on where we want to go. A lot of times what I see is people will stop until that week between Christmas and New Year's and then say, oh, I need to go out there and start focusing on where I'm going to go in 2020. No, you need to be focusing now. So I want you to get out pen and paper. I want to throw some stuff at you. And this is to try to help you define what it is you want to do in 2020. And some of you guys that watch, this has been cool. We're getting a lot of gig economy people. So a lot of you guys haven't been in direct sales or any sales at all. You literally have careers, or you literally are freelancers on Main Street doing your thing. Matter of fact, I just got contacted by a new brick and mortar business here that we're going to be working with and helping. So this is good. This is across the board. If you as an individual want to figure out, how can I take this to the next step? What can I do in 2020? Then write this down. First thing I want you to write down is what drives you. You know, think about this for a second. What excites you? What gives you passion when you're doing it? You know, last night I'm sitting there, I'm watching this Hallmark movie. I have no clue. I just love Christmas movies. So I'm watching a Hallmark movie, and literally it's been, I don't know, probably 4 years since I've gotten into the coding side, into the design and development side of a website. We've got that to the team. And to be able to get back into that, to be able to go in there and find the color codes and stuff, it's like, this is great. Plus, I'm going to be doing Freddie's new tattoo site. So I've got a personal interest there. That helps drive me. Is that my wheelhouse? No. And that's why I'm bringing this up. Excuse me. Gives me passion. I like doing it, but that's not my wheelhouse. What gets me up every morning isn't over here working on a website. What gets me up every morning is knowing that I can go out here and change somebody's life. I can go out there and talk to them on the phone. I can talk to them in person. I can do whatever it is I've got to do. We get passionate about where we're going and what we're doing. That's what excites me. So you've got to find what drives you, what fires you up. Second thing you've got to do, you've got to look at your experiences. Write that down. What are my experiences? See, so many times we fly through life, never giving thought of how each experience that we have gone through can help focus us on where we want to go. So think about it, because everybody's unique. Each of your experiences are unique. You get to decide, how can this help me? Going back to my passion, one of the things that I love is helping people personally, whether that's through relationships. I focus a lot on men. So this last weekend, I was sitting up here, chilling, relaxing. I'm reading Tim McGraw's new book, Grace and Grit. Highly recommend that, man. It's a powerful book. But I'm sitting here and I get a text from a buddy of mine. Says, hey, can I come hang out with you for a minute? I got a question. I said, yeah, man, come on. So he comes up, hanging out. He said, this is not business focused. He said, Troy, really, this is more spiritual. This is about a question that I have, because you seem to have broken through it. And I said, sure, tell me what it is. He said, how do you get to the point where you feel like you can communicate with the Holy Spirit, with God, and he's listening to you as a person? And trust me, hang with me here. I'm not going to be a spiritual podcast, but I want to use one little section here on experiences. And I was able to share with him 2 events in my life that made me realize, okay, in my belief factor, God's just not some, dude out there that cares about the world but doesn't care about me as an individual. And I was able to share that with him. I was also able to take an experience that he had and share with him something there. See, that's the tweak. That's what makes it different. Each of the experiences that you have, each of the experiences that you go through is going to help drive you as that individual, where you're going to be next year. What is it that you're going to do that's going to expand you as an individual in life, make you a better husband, a better father, or a better business person, a better wife, a better mother, a better sister? So you've got to write that down, your experiences. Third is your spirituality. Now, again, my belief is in Jesus Christ. I believe Jesus Christ is God's son. It's the only way to heaven. That's deep into my faith. You may not be on that faith level. My good friend, Corey Augustine, totally different. What moves him, and I don't even think he'd call it spirituality, but his belief factor is totally different. Whatever it is, you've got to connect with that at a deep level. Because if you're out here just floundering, if you're out here trying to make it in the world and you have no grounding, you have no daily meditation, no daily prayer, no daily something that pulls you back in, then you're still not going to be able to figure out, where am I going in 2020? What am I going to be doing in 2020? One of my dearest friends, he's been a mentor to me through highs and lows, and I hope to some degree I've even been a mentor to him. But Richard Brooke is just a phenomenal individual, he's a phenomenal friend. And I remember so many times when he first went to Hawaii with Kimmy, that he would post, he would chat, and he would say, oh my gosh, I can get grounded out here. I can focus. And he did the same thing in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I mean, he surrounded himself with nature. He'd get out on the lake in his boat, and he'd get back to his core center. And that's what I'm talking about with your spirituality. In my case, it's how can I grow closer to God to be able to hear where I'm supposed to go in the future. You have to have that. You've got to be grounded in that. Next thing is your impact. What impact do you make? Think about all the areas of your life, everywhere that you're at, whether it's in business, personal, sports, I don't care what it is. What area do you feel the most impactful? When you walk away from that, You've done good for others and you feel good. Saturday morning, prime example. When I walked away from the meeting that I had with my friend, and I mean, listen, this is a guy, we've been in firefights. We've gone through stuff with our families, both of us in the military, both of us with a unique background. So coming out of that, knowing that I've helped a buddy, man, I felt good the rest of the day, which means I was feeling good for the family. It means I felt good with some of the other business stuff I'm at. Where do you impact? And write this stuff down. Look, don't try to do it all today. Just start thinking about these questions. What drives me? What experiences have I had? Where am I at spiritual wise? Where am I at with impact? Now, here's a big one, and this is one that we don't hear this word a lot used anymore, at least not in the real world. But where are you a genius at? In other words, what do you do repeatedly where you're successful, where you're happy, where you come at it just fired up? I saw Meredith on here just a second ago. It's hard for me to see everybody as it's rolling through. And Meredith right now has become the president of Richard Brooks' business. His Bliss business is just phenomenal. It's growing like crazy. I've known her for so many years. I've interviewed her so many times. I know that her passion is out there serving people, helping them to become a better person themselves. She is literally right now in her genius spot. She is having a blast. I have no clue how Richard was able to get her to say yes. Best move on his part, because this is something that's just going to explode in a major way. Richard also is a supporter, but in this case here, it's just, I'm using Meredith as that example. Where are you a genius at? What are you doing? And listen, this is important. Being a genius at something doesn't mean being a genius at something like somebody else is. One of the pet peeves I have in direct sales is that we talk about duplication, we talk about systems, we talk about all this stuff, and we never take into account the person's personality, their background, where they're at, where they truly impact, what their experiences are. We just tell them, if you duplicate the system, it'll work. Now, I've fallen prey to that too. Matter of fact, I've used McDonald's so many times as showing, hey, if you just follow the system, duplication works, everything is the same. Yes, but look at the leadership lid that's there too. You need to find that genius spot of yours. And then you need to look at what it will take you. Go get courses. Go read books. If you're in direct sales, yes, you need to look at what everybody else is doing. But the only way to succeed is to realize what you want to do is not follow duplicating the system. You want to be able to duplicate the results. And the only way to duplicate the results is find that natural sweet spot that you have. There was 15, 20 years in this business where consistently I would make just enough not to have to go out there and get another job. And then all of a sudden something would shift. And because I was just at there, all of a sudden I'd go backwards again. We went through a bankruptcy during that time. I mean, all kinds of stuff, because it's like, no, I can do it. If I just follow what they say to do, I'm going to do it. Without learning at an early enough stage, okay, I need to look at the process, and then I need to bring that to me. I need to be able to keep what works for me and throw out what doesn't work, so that I don't get all angst up inside because I'm failing. I was talking to my mentor today, Harry Wilkes, and we were talking about that, because he said, Troy, I finally came to the realization, here is what I need to do to succeed. It was a pivotal moment for him. We all need that pivotal moment. So when you're looking at everything, whether it's me on a podcast, whether it's somebody else on a podcast, doesn't matter whether you're reading a book. Matter of fact, let me go back a minute to Richard Brooks. His 4-year career is a powerful book, because in that book, he just totally wipes out all the myths about just duplicate, 90 days you're going to be there type crap. He makes it very clear. Here's the processes that you have to follow, but this is like a 4-year career. In my case, it took 15 years for me to break out of that lid that I was in, where I was just making enough. It took me another 5 years to literally bring it into an area where it's consistently gone up. Even today, which Paige would tell you if she was watching, hey man, right now our cash flow is like flatlined. but it's flatlined up here, way above what the average person's is. And what we've realized every time we have a flat line in our income, it's time for a business tweak. We're going to have to tweak it to go up to a next level. You have to do that no matter what phase you are. You could be working at McDonald's today saying, sure, I really would love to own some franchises. I really love the process. I love the system. I see what you're saying, but I'd love to own the franchises. Then you've got to step that up. You've got to look at what process is working, and you've got to move that up. You've got to be ready for the next level. Last thing I want to look at, and this is important. Where's the natural you at? This goes in line, just what I said about your genius, okay? If you're out here and you're being trained by some extrovert, they're powerful, they're charismatic, they could either be a president or a cult leader, everybody's following them, and you're the one sitting in the back far left corner where there's very little light, you're really drawing it all in, but you're such an introvert that you say, whoa, I don't want to be this way. I can't be in the middle of all that. Whoa, I don't know about all this woo stuff going on. Okay, you need to know that because you've got to tweak your system for that. You are going to want to come out of your shell a little bit. Or you may be that extroverted person, and man, you're just jamming it all the time, and you're wondering why you can't make the close because you're dealing with that introverted people. You need to find out where your natural spot is, where you are comfortable. And look, I'm not a believer of this carte blanche. Get out of your comfort zone. No, you need to be in your comfort zone. But what you need to realize is part of your comfort zone is a crutch. And you've got to figure out which part of my comfort zone is part of my actual natural personality. And then what have I just grown comfortable with because I am afraid to stretch myself, to pull, to push. This is the key here. And if you guys focus on this, look, I'm not talking to you as if I know it all. I'm talking to you because I have to go through this stuff constantly. Do you realize raising 5 daughters, being married to a beautiful, best-selling romance writer, man, my life changes every day. I never know which personality I'm waking up with. Okay, so I've learned how to deal with my introverted daughters, how to deal with my extroverted daughters, how to deal with my wife, how to listen instead of talk, how to deal with Jetty. You want to talk about a genius. Let me talk about my 16-year-old for a minute. And some of you may have seen the video that I put up from Sunday. But a few years ago, this is my son who, when we had everyone over for Christmas, he wanted to go to his room. He didn't want to hang out with people, didn't want to talk, didn't want to any of that stuff. He has a lot more of his mama's personality probably than his dad's. So he was creative, passionate. Oh, he wants to help people all the time, relatives or otherwise. Very creative, a genius in his own right when it comes to the business that he has of collecting comic books and other stuff. I mean, he just has it up there. When it came from talking to on stage, he even tried videos for a while with the comic books. And this isn't for me. But yet, as he's taken his personality and he's morphed that, he's found out what's worked. He's surrounded himself with people to where on Sunday he's on stage in front of 100, 150 people, speaking, talking, being interviewed. You've got to figure out which part of your comfort zone is truly part of your personality and what has been a crutch, what has been that wall that you've put up so that you haven't had to stretch yourself. Another good friend of mine, Dom Tischer. Dom served in some hot zones in the military and in some war situations. Came back home and he'd be the first to tell you, man, I just got PTSD. I just want to chill out. I don't want to be freaking around a lot of people. And today is one of the most successful networkers that I know because little by little he found a way to maneuver. Still has his personality, would rather be on his ranch in Texas than out here on stage in the middle of a crowd. But he found that sweet spot. Now his wife is doing more and more with him. I keep seeing their videos. Find your sweet spot. Find what it takes, guys. It's going to be powerful. Hey, for you that just joined us, you can go back and watch the replay. But we talked at the top of the hour about MLMhelpdesk.com. We're pushing that back live. We're going to have a lot of other sites that will link into that. We got some new cool stuff that's going to be up there. But after looking at everything, listening to the feedback, it is live, but we've got no new content on there, but you guys can go check that out. It's going to be powerful in 2020. We're going to continue to do the podcast, but we're expanding. We're already over on Amazon. We're going into Roku. It's going to be some cool times. So, guys, it's you that have helped us find the sponsors that we have. It's you that keep coming back for more. You can get the podcast now, I believe, over on Apple. We're getting ready to put all of the new shows up there in 2020, so you're going to like them. But we've got, I don't know how many, 800 and some odd episodes that you can go back and listen to in the archives right now. I think you're going to enjoy it. So, guys, it's always fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Remember, stay humble, stay strong, and you've been listening to a voice here in Main Street America.